Well guys, free agency is almost here, and you know what that means. Some free agency predictions, as we'll be going over a select number of free agents and trying our best to nail which team they'll be signing with. Keep in mind, this is just for fun and pure speculation on my part, so try not to take me too seriously. And with that, here are 4 UFAs and the final predictions on where they'll end up. For Evander Kane, last season almost had to feel like a dream scenario. After getting basically banished from San Jose, the forward was recruited by Connor McDavid himself to play in oil country. Even though he ended up taking a modest contract to do so, Kane became a key player in helping to take the Oilers all the way to the conference finals, where the team eventually met its demise to Colorado. But after having such a productive season with 39 points in 43 games played, Kane has come to the realization that there are better offers out there that could be more than Edmonton is willing to offer. Kane is reportedly looking for a 5-year deal with an AAV of around $7.4 million. GM Ken Holland's statement given during day 2 of the draft was rather telling as well. Right now, nothing is really happening. We've had tons and tons of talks. We don't have much cap space, he says. Therefore, if he does sign elsewhere, the question we're here to answer is where could that potentially be? Thinking back to the earlier parts of last season, before Kane made his way to Alberta, there was a team that was very interested prior to that could be pursuing him yet again. And the team, you ask? The Washington Capitals. After a quick exit last playoffs, the Capitals were dealt some tough news regarding their first-line center, Nicklas Backstrom. Backstrom, according to multiple sources, has had multiple surgeries on his hip and could miss the entirety of next season, meaning that this could free up some cap space if Backstrom is indeed on the LTIR. Tom Wilson is also set to miss a portion of the first half of the next season due to recovering from knee surgery. This means that the Capitals will have a significant need in their top 6 that Kane could help address. NHL insider Kevin Weeks also tweeted that he believes Washington could be one of the teams that would be willing to offer Kane the contract he's desiring. One of the reasons as to why Ken Holland may be pinching pennies when it comes to Evander Kane is to ensure that he'll have enough to pay a solidified starter for next campaign. As most of us know, the net is a position that's haunted the Oilers for multiple seasons now, and hopefully an issue that Holland will be solving this offseason. With names such as Ville Husso and Marc-Andre Fleury both off the table as options, it's only logical for Edmonton to at least consider Jack Campbell as an option for the crease. Ever since GM Kyle Dubas decided to trade for netminder Matt Murray from Ottawa, the writing has pretty much been on the wall that Campbell won't be returning to Toronto for next season. As is usually the case, the reasoning for Campbell not signing with the Leafs was financially related, as he's going to be looking for a 6-year deal with around a $5.7 million AAV. Even though he had his moments, Campbell, from the big picture standpoint, was decent last season with a .917 save percentage and a 2.64 goals against average. Interestingly, NHL insider Elliot Friedman said on his 32 Thoughts podcast at the start of the month that he could see Campbell being a fit for Edmonton. Even though Mike Smith is still a question mark for next campaign, bringing Campbell in would be a definite upgrade in the net moving forward. Ever since the word got out that John Klingberg was reportedly open to being traded, the speculation is, and has been, that the defenseman will be signing elsewhere this summer, with names such as Ryan Suter being signed long-term and Miro Heiskanen receiving a hefty extension. Klingberg told the media that he didn't feel appreciated and has felt frustrated regarding contract negotiations. For Klingberg, he'll likely be able to land a deal that's around 6 years and close to $7 million a season. After notching 47 points in 74 games played, Klingberg will be able to bring the same power play expertise to a new team if he indeed moves on from Dallas. Since he still hasn't been able to find common ground with the Stars, we have to assume that Klingberg will be talking to teams and testing the markets. Even though the Seattle Kraken were rumored to be in on Klingberg last season, another team, and one that seems to be the front runner, is the Carolina Hurricanes. Since they parted ways with Tony DeAngelo, the Canes could use an offense-oriented D-man on the right side. And even more interestingly, along with the Kraken, Carolina also was a team that inquired about Klingberg's services last campaign. While it's obvious that they'll be targeting a forward for their top 6, the Canes could very well still go after Klingberg. Despite his shortcomings defensively in Dallas, if he was paired with Jacob Slavin, for example, on the first pairing, the two could complement each other quite well on the back end. One of the most intriguing free agents, in my opinion, is Nazem Kadri. After winning a Stanley Cup with Colorado here recently, Kadri could choose to try and cash in while he can here shortly. Kadri, who was deemed a wild card initially after being traded from Toronto, proved spectators wrong while recording 87 points in 71 games played last regular season. And since it was indeed a contract year for the forward, this ensured that he would be receiving a significant pay raise this offseason, one that Colorado won't be able to afford. For Kadri, who's hoping for a 7-year deal valued at $8.4 million a season, he probably knows that this is and probably will be his best chance to make bank in his NHL career. With that being said, knowing that he's already won his cup, it's entirely possible that Kadri will consider signing with a team that's not a solidified contender, even though Montreal has been mentioned, along with Seattle and the Islanders. I thought it'd be fun to entertain another possibility instead, the Detroit Red Wings. NHL insider Jeff Merrick recently entertained the idea of Steve Yzerman signing Kadri in hopes that the team would again reach the status of being a contender. Since he did recently bring in netminder Ville Husso, this does indicate that the GM might be wanting to turn up the temperature in order to leave the rebuild days behind. Knowing that Kadri did grow up in London, Ontario, he might have a soft spot for the NHL team that's close to his hometown.